Hi there, thanks for watching. JD Diet, Graham Mason here from Metro Gamer with another ZX Spectrum unemulated gameplay video. The game here we've got today is another game that I picked up at the recent Revival show, and I picked up a few specky games there, mostly ones that I hadn't heard of. In fact, practically all ones I hadn't heard of, just because they interest me. I don't know if they're rare or whatever, but I'm always interested in games I've never heard of. Of course, thousands of games on the Specky, so even someone like me that grew up with a Spectrum, there's still loads of games I haven't heard of. This one, despite the title screen you see in front of you, it's actually called Apache Raid, and it's by, as you can see, Pirate Software. Now, I hadn't heard of Apache Raid or indeed Pirate Software, which is a bit of a piss take of a name for a software house, I think. This game came out in 1987, but as you can see, it's called Cowboys and Engines on this screen here, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And to continue the kind of amateur hour, the cassette itself has a rather strange misspelling of Apache. I don't know who thought that two P's would be appropriate there, but there they are. So, Pirate Software, know nothing about them. If anyone knows anything about them, or indeed you used to work for them, then please make a comment and I'll try and reply as quickly as possible. They're apparently based in London, and as I say, this game was from 1987, and they produce mainly budget games. This retailed at $1.99. Now, the game itself, Apache Raid, as I say, you play Nigel, who is a Navajo, and he has been outcast from his tribe, although it's not exactly made clear why. And in order to get back into his tribe, he has to go around collecting all these items. So it's kind of sounding a bit like a mazy collect 'em up type game. So you've got to help Nigel collect all this stuff and collect all these things together, and it will allow him to go back into his tribe. Unfortunately, as the name suggests, there is an Apache tribe also knocking about, a feared group of Apaches who are after you, after your scalp, I guess, in particular. So, let's, without any further ado, have a go on Apache Raid. So, here we go, QAOP. Oh, right, as we can see, a fairly basic type maze we've started out in here. And we can flick into different kind of screens. So it looks a bit like Sabre Wolf and that sort of maze game, although the graphics aren't quite as good. Well, the main character does move, he's dead already. Okay, does move quite nicely. You start off with 100 energy, as you can see. I think this axe here is something I can pick up. I'm firing arrows myself quite rapidly, but I have a limited amount of them by the look of it. These Apaches are quite numerous. Lots of teepees around. I'm back on this screen. Does that give me more arrows or energy? I didn't quite spot that. That gives me more energy, so that's useful. Now, is that an item there? One problem I've already found, although my character moves quite nicely, he can't move diagonally, which is a bit annoying in a game like this. So you have to, if you want to move up, you have to stop and then go up. Okay, but this seems quite a nicely playable game. There's not really a lot to it, to be honest. The graphics are sort of tile-based, and the lack of diagonal movement is quite annoying. Considering Wriggler did that much better 3 years before this, that's a bit rubbish. But anyway, energy took a beating there. So as you can see, this is obviously some sort of maze-type game where you have to wander around trying to find all these parts. And there does seem to be quite a big maze. I'm not quite sure I'll have the patience to go through all this, but it'd be quite good for a someone that likes doing maps. I'm looking for some energy here, really. I'm a bit low on energy and arrows. Not quite sure I'm going to get past these guys. But I'll get past them I have. They're like randomly spawning. I think that might be more arrows over there, which would be helpful. Not quite sure I'm going to get to them. That's more energy. That's very helpful. Is that more energy as well? Yep. Oh, slightly different graphics. I've just lost a bunch of energy. Thanks. Ugh. Yeah, it's a bit annoying how when they run into you, they take loads of energy. You've got to be on your toes to when you lose a life as well, because you spawn back in the same place. So I'm back down to 27 energy already because I wasn't paying attention there. Now I'm dead again. Plenty of lives, but a bit frustrating this. So I'm not quite sure. This must be like, I don't know, a ranch or something. A bit odd. They don't move diagonally either, the enemies, although their shots move quite quickly. Ah, I don't think I can get through there. That's a bit annoying. So, Pirate Software, I'm wondering with the name whether they did any rip-offs. That's what it kind of suggests, really. It's a bit cheeky, I think, but don't really know anything about it. I don't remember seeing any of their games in the shops. I still had a Specky well into 1987 and 1988 and 1989, to be honest, so there's no reason why I wouldn't have seen them if they were in the shops. So the lack of diagonal movement is really killing the playability of this game a little bit. It's quite annoying. It might not show on the screen so much, but it is a bit of a miss out, in my opinion, which is a shame because otherwise it plays quite nicely. I've got some energy there. Don't seem to have collected too many objects. See, going down this bit is quite torturous. A bit inexcusable, really. A bit of a shame because otherwise the game's not too bad. Although, as I say, I'm not really a fan of these maze type games. I used to like exploring the screens, but that was kind of it. Ah! They just spawn out the side of the screen, the bad guys. Lots of cows or horses, really. One of the first games I played on my Spectrum was Project Future, which I got on the Beaujolais 10 computer hits, and that was a great game. It got crash smash, but I remember I just spent hours just wandering around this maze, not really knowing what I was doing. That was a great compilation, that one. So even now, I'm not really too sure what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm supposed to be going. I think I'm kind of lost. I seem to be going back and forth the same screens. Gonna lose another life, yeah. Not quite sure why your energy jumps up to 255 and then back down to 100. I don't know if I'm supposed to select or press fire or something to select an energy above 100. Nothing about that in the instructions. Oh, I'm dead again. And there you go, game over. 12% explored, so not really much of the map explored there, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not sure how many artefacts I collected, but I don't think it was that many. I seem to be picking up mainly food and stuff. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the 255 counter there. Was that an item? I don't know. Seem to have got more energy now, so that must have been one of the things I picked up. That looks like some sort of crater. Let's keep having a look up here. Thought you had his way. Character does move really well. Really, really well. But I guess by 1987, you know, if you think by 1987, full price games were mainly licenses and some of them were really good. And he also had amazing games like Head Over Heels, original games still. And also the budget games themselves. If you think about Mastertronic by 1987, they were doing games like Agent X and Universal Hero, really good games. Oh, died just before I could get to that. Really good budget games. You know, you couldn't get away with crappy budget games anymore, although Atlantis did their best. So this is kind of, although it's a nice, sweetly playable game in its own way, it would have been up against some stiff competition, even at the $1.99 price tag. Oh, let's just go up here because I don't think we've been in this screen. Oh, can I get up there? Oh, yeah. A bit tubby. Been able to pay out a bit too much, our friend, I think. One good thing about these guys, they don't seem to be able to go up or down, they just go one way or the other. What's that there? Let's just go back and clear that. Ah, couldn't avoid that arrow, or gun, or whatever it is. So I don't quite know what else there is to this game. Seem to be discovering a few more nice screens, but the graphics are let's be honest, fairly unremarkable, especially for 1987. People starting to, I mean, as Year X along came out, and Light Force had come out already, so I think by this point graphics had improved a lot on the Spectrum. But nevertheless, for $1.99, there's quite a lot of fun to be had here, I think. I don't think you'd have been too disappointed back in the day. So there you go. There's Cowboys and Indians, or Apache Raid by Pirate Software. Thanks for watching, and I'll post another video soon. Cheers. Bye.